Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going now to discuss the sector of the green energy, which enjoys an unprecedented support from the state. Actually, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have received the CEO of the Norwegian Scatec company for new and renewable energy generation. The meeting was attended by the Minister of Electricity and Renewable Energy, Mohammed Shaker, and they discussed cooperation with the Norwegian company on the new renewable energy projects and the establishment of a project to produce electrical energy amounting to 3 megawatts of wind energy. And also President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi have followed up on the cooperation with the Australia's global green energy company regarding the green energy and green ammonia production. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone Dr. Emad Adly, the International Environmental and Sustainable Development Expert and head of the Board of Trustees of the Egyptian Forum for Sustainable Development. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, Dr. Adly, what do we mean by green energy or clean energy?
It's very simple. It's energy that does not have emissions, energy that does not produce pollution, energy that is always safe to use, and at the same time reduce very much the pollution that could be resulted from the very traditional fossil fuel.
Yes, so Doctor, as I've just mentioned, the efforts exerted by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to give very good attention to this file of the green energy. Actually, as Egypt is awaiting very in the near future, in next November, is organizing the COP27 conference for climate change. How do you see these efforts exerted by the President for this file?
Of course, hosting the COP27 was a very big achievement for Egypt, and it was also one of the challenges that we are facing, not only in Egypt, but also in the whole continent of Africa. So by leading the African continent, Egypt is hosting this COP, and everyone is expecting to have good results coming from this conference for two reasons. Number one, that all the 26 COPs before were not able to reach into a very concrete mechanism of meeting the challenges or facing the challenges of the climate change. And number two, that we are very eager, everyone is eager to find solutions for all the problems that are facing the whole world, especially developing countries, and in specific the African continent.
Yes.
So what Egypt is doing, or what you have mentioned of the meetings that were organized yesterday in presence of His Excellency President Fattah al-Sisi, is a very good example of how Egypt and the leadership of Egypt is seeing the COP27 is not only hosting and organizing a successful meeting, yes, but also to have good results and good outputs out of this COP, and before that, by putting Egypt on the road to deal with the climate change from the mitigation point of view and also from the adaptation point of view.
Yes, so Dr. Adly, you've just mentioned the previous conferences concerning the climate change and especially the COP26, and you've said that they did not come up with good mechanisms for this file. So what do we expect from the COP27 conference hosted by Egypt, and what do we expect would be the recommendations of this conference?
Everyone is expecting, when I say everyone, I'm talking about the whole world. We all are expecting the Sharm el-Sheikh COP to become, yes, the implementation COP.
Yes.
So because of that, because we have been maybe successful in putting some elements for the roadmap of how to deal with the climate change, but we did not put a very clear mechanism to implement what we have talked about. So everyone is talking about Sharm el-Sheikh as the implementation conference. And when we are talking about implementation, we are talking about very clear, very concrete steps that will be taken on how the climate finance will be directed to the countries and the regions that very much need of the support, how technology will be transferred, how we are going to build the capacity of the different countries to meet the challenges, how we are going also to provide support and also to discuss the responsibility of the loss and damage that's happening due to the climate change impact.
Yes.
So all these challenges and all these dreams, or I would say what we are expecting out of the COP27 next November in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yes, so Dr. Adly, Sharm el-Sheikh city is hosting the COP27 climate change conference next November. So actually Egypt started by with itself and started with the Sharm el-Sheikh city, which is the city that is going to host the COP27 climate change conference, and it started to turn the most of the hotels there to clean or green energy. How do you see this or read this?
Of course, when you host a big conference like this in a city that is very unique in its geographical positioning and also in its history and also with all its environmental characteristics. So the Egyptian government decided to show, and this was a very good decision and very good vision, to have Sharm el-Sheikh as a green city. And to show that Sharm el-Sheikh is a green city, you have to provide all the elements of green cities. This includes the energy used in the city, the transportation system in the city, the solid waste management in the city, the water management in the city, all these elements of how to make a city green. And I think what we have seen in the last few weeks and few months of changing Sharm el-Sheikh and putting it on the list of cities that could be given as examples of green cities, I think it's a very good model and it's good achievement. It's still a lot to be done between now and the beginning of the COP. But I am pretty sure that Egypt will be able to show a very green and very sustainable city by the beginning of the COP next November, inshallah.
Yes, Dr. Adly, will the new renewable energy help in reducing the effects of the climate change? And if so, how would it be able?
The renewable energy definitely is one of the solutions, not everything, because this will really only deal with the mitigation of the emissions. So renewable energy is one of the elements that we have to use to minimize and stop the emissions from increasing. Because right now what we are having is a trend that can lead to the rise of temperature of more than 2 degrees. And this is against completely what the world has agreed in Paris in 2015 in the COP, which was held in Paris in 2015. So what we are trying to do is, first is to minimize the emissions. And to do this, we have to provide, and with the increase of population and also keeping the development pattern going as it should be. So this means that we have to provide more energy sources and to provide in the energy mix all the elements of renewables that would minimize the use of fossil fuel and at the same time provide the energy needed. So the movement in the direction of renewable energy is very much needed to achieve this target, not only for Egypt but also for the whole world.
Yes, Doctor, is the green energy expensive?
In the past, everything was very expensive, but with the expansion and the use and also the development of technology, it is not any more expensive. It's always getting cheaper and cheaper now. It's much more affordable to get solar energy used at domestic level and also at commercial level. The use also of the green hydrogen is also very much economically could happen, and this is why the meeting that happened yesterday between the President Fattah al-Sisi and the Australian pioneers on this was also one of the discussions that happened yesterday. So it's not any more expensive, and with the expansion and the wide range of use, it will not be expensive. On the other side, the benefits that we are going to get out of this will make everything cheaper than it was before.
Yes. Doctor, what about the effect of the green energy on the economy?
As I said, the green energy is going to reduce emission. It's going to provide energy for at a larger scale for communities, and definitely with the whole elements of calculations, the cost of the pollution and the cost of the use of the green energy, this together will make it always economically and sound to be used, especially in developing countries.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Dr. Emad Adly, the International Environmental and Sustainable Development Expert and head of the Board of Trustees for the Egyptian Forum for the Sustainable Development. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar, and I was in the company of my colleague, Nermeen Abdurrahman. Thank you very much for watching.